r/pettyrevenge Stepson stole $8,000 meant for my promotion party, so I got him evicted. I'm staring at my banking app, refreshing it for the fourth time, convinced there has to be some mistake. The account that should have $8,127.43 in it, money I've been carefully saving for 6 months, shows a balance of $31.18. My hands are actually shaking as I scroll through the transaction history. 3 withdrawals over the past 2 days, $3,000, $2,500, and $2,600. All from ATMs I've never been to, in neighborhoods I don't frequent. The promotion I've been working toward for 3 years finally came through last week. Senior Marketing Director at Morrison & Associates, the first time in my career I've broken the 6-figure salary barrier. At 42, after countless late nights, weekend projects, and swallowing my pride when younger colleagues got opportunities I'd earned, this felt like vindication. I wanted to celebrate properly. Not just dinner with my husband Mark, but a real party. Catered food, an open bar, decorations, the works. I'd already sent invitations to my team, my parents flying in from Phoenix, my sister driving up from Portland. 37 people confirmed for this Saturday. Now I'm sitting in my car outside the bank, fighting back tears, because someone has destroyed the one moment of professional triumph I've been anticipating for years. The bank manager, a soft-spoken woman named Janet, reviews my account with practiced sympathy. I'm sorry, Mrs. Chen, but these withdrawals were made with your debit card and PIN. Without evidence of theft. But I didn't make them. My voice cracks embarrassingly. I haven't been to any of these locations. She slides a paper across her desk. You'll need to file a police report for fraud, then we can investigate. The process typically takes 7 to 10 business days. 7 to 10 days. My party is in 4. I drive home in a daze, trying to figure out who could have accessed my card. I'm paranoid about financial security. I don't write my PIN down, don't save it on my phone. The only person who's ever seen me enter it is Mark, and possibly. No. I push the thought away as I pull into our driveway. Mark's car is here, which means he's working from home today. I need to tell him what happened, figure out our next steps. Maybe we can pull money from savings, though that would mean dipping into our vacation fund. I find him in his office, on a video call. He sees my expression and quickly wraps up his meeting. Babe, what's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost. I explain about the account, show him the transaction history on my phone. His face goes through the same confusion and disbelief I felt. That's insane. Who would have access to your card? That's what I can't figure out. The bank says I need to file a police report, but that could take over a week to resolve. I sink into the chair across from his desk. Mark, my party is Saturday. My parents already booked their flights. I've already paid deposits. Hey, we'll figure this out. He reaches across to squeeze my hand. Maybe we can borrow from the emergency fund temporarily, just until the bank sorts this out. I nod, feeling slightly better. At least I'm not dealing with this alone. That's when I hear footsteps on the stairs, heavy, familiar. Mark's expression shifts almost imperceptibly, and something cold settles in my stomach. Is Tyler here? I ask, though I already know the answer. He came by this morning. Said he needed to shower and grab some clothes. The cold feeling spreads to my chest. Tyler, Mark's 24-year-old son from his first marriage. Tyler, who's been in and out of our house for the past 2 years since graduating college. Tyler, who was here yesterday when I was getting cash for groceries. Tyler appears in the doorway, hair still damp from the shower, wearing clothes that definitely weren't in his closet when he moved out 6 months ago. Designer jeans, an expensive-looking watch I've never seen before. He's got that particular energy about him, too bright, too alert, like he's running on pure adrenaline. Hey Sandra. Heard you got the big promotion. That's awesome. His smile is wide and genuine, and for a split second I feel guilty for where my thoughts are going. Thanks, I manage, watching his face carefully. Have you been here since yesterday? On and off, yeah. Dad said it was cool if I hung out while my apartment gets fumigated. He glances at Mark, who nods confirmation. Roach problem. Landlord says it'll be a few more days. I know Tyler's tells by now, for years of him living with us on and off will teach you that. When he lies, he touches his neck. He's doing it now, fingers brushing just below his ear. Where did you get the new watch? I ask, keeping my voice casual. He looks down at his wrist like he'd forgotten it was there. Oh, this? Early birthday present to myself. Got a freelance gig that paid pretty well. Another neck touch. My chest tightens. What kind of freelance work? Mark asks, and I can hear something careful in his tone now too. Graphic design stuff. Logo for a startup. Tyler shrugs, already backing toward the door. Anyway, I should head out. Meeting some friends for lunch. He's gone before either of us can respond, and the house feels different in his absence. Heavier somehow. Mark and I stare at each other across his desk. I can see him putting the pieces together the same way I am, and I watch his face close off as he reaches the same terrible conclusion. Sandra, you can't seriously think. He was here yesterday. I got cash for groceries, used my PIN at the kitchen counter. He could have seen it. That doesn't mean he. The watch, Mark. The new clothes. You saw how he acted when I asked about them. Mark stands up, starts pacing. There could be explanations. Maybe he really did get a freelance job. Maybe someone gave him the watch. Maybe he stole $8,000 from me. The words hang between us like a slap. He wouldn't do that. Not to you. You've been nothing but supportive. Have I? The bitterness in my voice surprises even me. Because I'm starting to think that's been the problem. We paid for his last semester when he blew his college fund. We let him live here rent-free for 2 years. We gave him money for his security deposit when he finally moved out. And what do I have to show for it? Mark's face flushes. He's my son, Sandra. And I'm your wife. This was my moment, Mark. Mine. Do you understand how long I've worked for this? How much this promotion means to me? Of course I do, but you can't just accuse Tyler without proof. Then let's get proof. I pull out my phone. Let's call him. Ask him to come back and explain where he got the money for his new things. Mark goes very still. Sandra, if you're wrong about this. What? What happens if I'm wrong? He gets offended? Because if I'm right, Mark, if your son stole from me and you defend him. I don't finish the sentence, but we both know what I'm not saying. This isn't just about the money anymore. This is about whose side he's going to choose. And from the look on his face, I'm terrified I already know the answer. Mark calls Tyler 3 times before he finally picks up. Hey Dad, what's up? Tyler's voice comes through the speaker, and I can hear background noise, music, voices, the kind of ambient sound you get in a busy restaurant or bar. Tyler, we need you to come back to the house. Sandra's had some money stolen from her account, and we're trying to figure out what happened. There's a pause. Too long of a pause. Oh shit, that sucks. Sorry Sandra. But I'm kind of in the middle of something right now. It can wait, Mark says firmly. This is important. How much are we talking about? Tyler asks, and something about the way he phrases it makes my skin crawl. Not how much was stolen, but how much are we talking about, like he's calculating something. $8,000, I say, leaning toward the phone. The silence stretches so long I think the call might have dropped. Then Tyler laughs, but it sounds forced. Jesus, 8 grand? That's insane. Who steals that much money? Someone who knows exactly how much is in the account, I think, but don't say. Tyler, just come home. We need to sort this out, Mark says. Look, I would, but I'm actually out of town right now. Drove down to Salem to see Mom. Won't be back until tonight. I grab Mark's arm, shake my head frantically, and mouth put him on speaker. Mark obliges. Tyler, I say, keeping my voice steady, didn't you just tell us an hour ago that you were meeting friends for lunch? Here in town? Another pause. Right, yeah, we decided to drive down together. Spontaneous thing. Mark's face has gone pale. Even he can hear how flimsy this sounds. Which friends? I press. You don't know them. Look, I really have to go. Mom's waiting for me. We'll talk when I get back, okay? The line goes dead. Mark and I stare at each other in the silence of his office. Outside, I can hear our neighbor's dog barking and the distant sound of a lawnmower. Normal sounds of a normal day, except nothing about this feels normal anymore. He's lying, I say quietly. Mark sits heavily in his chair. Yeah. I know. So what are we going to do about it? That's when Mark does something that changes everything. He closes his eyes and rubs his temples, and when he speaks, his voice is tired. Sandra, even if Tyler took the money, we can't really prove it. The bank won't just take our word for it. And if we call the police? If we call the police, what? He could go to jail. $8,000 is a felony. That would ruin his life. I feel like I've been slapped. What about my life, Mark? What about my promotion party? What about the fact that your son stole from me? I'm not saying what he did was right. You're not saying he did anything at all. You're protecting him. He's my son. Mark stands up, his voice rising to match mine. What do you want me to do? Throw him to the wolves over money? I want you to make him give it back. I want you to act like what he did to me matters. Of course it matters, but we have to be realistic here. That money is probably gone. Tyler has problems. You know that. If he took it, it's because he's desperate, not because he wanted to hurt you. Problems? I stand up too, my voice getting dangerously quiet. What kind of problems, Mark? He won't meet my eyes. You know he struggles with impulse control. And he's been stressed about money lately. What aren't you telling me? Mark walks to the window, stares out at our backyard. When he finally speaks, his voice is barely above a whisper. He's been gambling again. Online poker, sports betting. I found out last month when he asked me for money to cover his rent. The room spins slightly. Again? He had a problem in college. We got him help, thought he'd beaten it. But apparently. You've known about this for a month and didn't tell me? I didn't want to worry you. You've been so stressed about the promotion. Get out, I say. Sandra. Get out of this room. Get out of my sight. Right now. Mark hesitates, then walks past me toward the door. He pauses at the threshold. We'll figure this out, he says. But I'm already planning how I'm going to figure it out myself. After Mark leaves, I sit alone in his office, staring at the family photo on his desk. It's from last Christmas, Mark, me, and Tyler opening presents around our tree. Tyler's wearing the expensive sweater I bought him, grinning like the perfect stepson. I remember being so proud of how far we'd come as a family. Now I want to throw the picture across the room. Instead, I pull out my phone and start making calls. First, the caterer. Hi, this is Sandra Chen. I need to cancel the event for this Saturday. Yes, I understand there's a cancellation fee. How much? $1,200. Gone. The rental company for tables and chairs, $800. The bartender I'd hired through a friend's recommendation, $300, since I'm canceling with less than a week's notice. By the time I'm done, I've lost over $2,000 in deposits and fees, money that was separate from what Tyler stole, money that's actually gone forever. My phone buzzes with a text from my mom, can't wait for Saturday. Dad's been telling everyone at the golf club about your promotion. We're so proud. Red heart. I stare at the message until my vision blurs. Then I call her. Mom, I have to cancel the party. What? Honey, why? Are you sick? I can't bring myself to explain about Tyler. There was a financial issue. I can't afford it right now. The disappointment in her voice cuts deep. Oh, sweetheart, your father, and I could help cover some costs if. No, Mom. It's too complicated. I'm sorry. After I hang up, I sit in the growing darkness of Mark's office and let myself cry for exactly 5 minutes. Then I dry my eyes and start researching. If Mark won't hold his son accountable, I need to understand exactly what I'm dealing with. I create a private browsing window and start looking up Tyler's social media accounts, something I've never done before because I respected his privacy. His Instagram is public, and what I find there makes my stomach turn. Photos from the last 2 weeks show him at expensive restaurants, holding up cocktails that cost more than I spend on lunch in a week. There's a picture from 3 days ago at some upscale sports bar, surrounded by friends, multiple beer bottles on the table with the caption "Big win tonight." Drinks on me. Clinking beer mugs money bag. 3 days ago. Right around when my money was stolen. I screenshot everything, then dig deeper. His Twitter account shows a pattern that Mark either doesn't know about or has been hiding from me. Retweets about sports betting, complaints about bad beats and rigged games, followed by celebrations about winning streaks. Then I find something that makes my blood freeze. A tweet from 2 weeks ago, when your stepmom finally gets that promotion money bag time to celebrate her success winking face party popper. He was planning this. He knew about my promotion before I even got the official offer, and he was already thinking about my money. I'm screenshotting the tweet when I hear the front door open. Mark's voice calls out, "Sandra? I picked up Chinese food. We should talk." I close the laptop and go downstairs, where Mark has spread containers across our kitchen island like a peace offering. Sweet and sour pork, my favorite. It feels manipulative now. I've been thinking, he says carefully, not quite meeting my eyes. Maybe we could take out a small loan to cover the party. Just until the bank sorts out the fraud claim. I already canceled everything. His face falls. You, what? I called the caterer, the rental company, everyone. It's done. I lost over $2,000 in cancellation fees. Mark stares at the takeout containers like they might have answers. Sandra, you should have waited. We could have figured something out. Like what? Like pretending your son didn't steal from me? Like taking on debt to cover up his gambling addiction? You don't know for certain that he tweeted about my promotion money 2 weeks ago, Mark. He called it time to celebrate her success with a winking emoji. He's been posting pictures of himself spending money at bars and restaurants all week. Mark's chopsticks clatter against his plate. You've been stalking his social media? I've been gathering evidence. Since you won't. That's not fair, Sandra. He's struggling with an addiction. He needs help, not accusations. I set down my own chopsticks very carefully. And what do I need, Mark? You need to be patient. Compassionate. He's family. No, I say quietly. He's your family. Apparently, I'm just the woman who pays for things. The kitchen falls silent except for the hum of our refrigerator. Mark opens his mouth to argue, then seems to realize there's nothing he can say that won't make this worse. That's when I make a decision that will change everything. I'm going to get my money back, I tell him. Sandra, please don't do anything rash. But I'm already walking away, leaving him alone with his peace offering and his guilty conscience. If Tyler wants to play games, I'll show him what happens when you steal from someone who spent 20 years learning how to outmaneuver people in boardrooms. The kid has no idea who he's messing with. That night, I lie awake listening to Mark's steady breathing and planning my next move. He thinks this is over, that I'll just accept the loss and move on like I always do. Like I did when Tyler crashed his car and we paid the insurance deductible. Like I did when he got fired from his first job for showing up late and we covered his rent for 3 months. Not this time. At 6 a.m., I'm in my home office with coffee and Tyler's lease agreement. Mark helped him with the paperwork when he moved out, and I'd filed everything in our shared documents folder. Tyler's renting a 1-bedroom apartment in the trendy Pearl District, $1,500 a month, which seemed ambitious for someone with his spotty employment history. What's interesting is the clause about subletting. The lease explicitly forbids it without written permission from the landlord. Violation results in immediate termination of tenancy. I think about Tyler's story yesterday, the apartment being fumigated for roaches. But his Instagram posts tell a different story. 3 weeks ago, he posted a photo of his living room with the caption "Roomy movie night." Popcorn showing at least 4 people sprawled across furniture, clearly comfortable and familiar with the space. I start digging deeper into his social media, going back months this time. The evidence builds like a prosecutor's case file. Multiple posts referencing his roommate, photos of someone else's belongings mixed with his, jokes about splitting utilities. In one particularly damning post from last month, he's complaining about his roommate's girlfriend staying over too much. Tyler's been illegally subletting part of his apartment to cover the rent he can't afford. Probably charging his roommate $800 or $900 a month under the table while claiming the full space as his own. By 7 a.m., I have screenshots, dates, and enough evidence to prove lease violation. All I need now is the landlord's contact information. The property management company's website lists a Catherine Torres as the leasing manager. I call at exactly 9 a.m. when they open. Ms. Torres? This is Sandra Chin. I'm calling about one of your tenants, Tyler Morrison in Unit 3B. Is this regarding a lease application? Are you a reference? Actually, I'm calling to report a lease violation. I have evidence that Mr. Morrison has been subletting his apartment without permission. The line goes quiet for a moment. Ma'am, are you certain about this? False reports of lease violations are taken very seriously. I'm absolutely certain. I can email you documented proof if you'd like. Please hold. While I wait, Mark appears in my office doorway with 2 cups of coffee. He looks like he didn't sleep either, his hair sticking up and yesterday's clothes rumpled. Sandra, what are you doing? I cover the phone's mouthpiece. What needs to be done? Ms. Chen? Catherine Torres is back on the line. I'd be very interested in seeing that documentation. Can you send it to my email within the hour? Absolutely. And Ms. Torres? I should mention that I believe Mr. Morrison may be using gambling winnings to pay his rent. You might want to verify his income sources for your records. Mark's coffee cup hits the floor, shattering ceramic across the hardwood. Hot coffee splashes across his bare feet, but he doesn't seem to notice. Thank you for bringing this to our attention, Ms. Torres says. We'll investigate immediately. I hang up and start organizing my screenshots into a comprehensive email. Mark is still standing in my doorway, staring at me like he's never seen me before. You're going to get him evicted. He got himself evicted. I'm just making sure his landlord knows about it. Sandra, this is insane. You're destroying his housing over money. Over theft, Mark. Over betrayal. Over the fact that your son has been lying to everyone about how he affords his lifestyle. Mark steps carefully around the broken ceramic, his voice getting desperate. He'll have nowhere to go. His lease violation will show up on his record. No one will rent to him. I hit send on the email and finally look up at my husband. Then maybe he should have thought about that before he stole $8,000 from his stepmother. The color drains from Mark's face as he realizes I'm not backing down. This is just the beginning. Within 2 hours, my phone rings. It's Tyler, and he's not trying to sound casual anymore. Sandra, what the fuck did you do? I set down my coffee and put the call on speaker. Mark, who's been hovering anxiously in the kitchen since I sent that email, goes rigid. I'm not sure what you mean, Tyler. Don't play dumb with me. My landlord just called. She's terminating my lease. Says someone reported me for subletting. That's unfortunate. Maybe you shouldn't have been breaking your lease agreement. You vindictive bitch. Tyler. Mark lunges for the phone, but I pull it away. No, Mark. Let him finish. I want to hear what your son really thinks of me. There's heavy breathing on the other end, like Tyler's trying to control himself. When he speaks again, his voice is lower but shaking with rage. You have no idea what you just did. I needed that apartment. I've been working to get my shit together. Working? Is that what you call stealing $8,000 from me? I don't know what you're talking about. The lie comes so smoothly, so automatically, that I almost admire it. Almost. Tyler, I found your Instagram posts. Your Twitter. I know about the gambling, the money you've been throwing around all week. I know you've been subletting your apartment to afford the rent. Silence. Then, you've been stalking me online? I've been protecting myself. Something I should have done years ago. Mark is gesturing frantically at me, mouthing stop and too far, but I'm done protecting his feelings. Sandra, Tyler's voice turns calculating, you need to call my landlord back. Tell her you made a mistake. Or what? Or I'll make sure everyone knows what kind of person you really are. Your work colleagues, your family. I'll tell them how you sabotaged your own stepson because you couldn't handle losing some money. The threat hangs in the air. Mark looks like he might be sick. Go ahead, I say quietly. Tell them. While you're at it, make sure to mention why I lost some money. Make sure to explain exactly how I lost it. I never touched your fucking money. Then how did you pay for dinner at Kennard last Tuesday? The one where you picked up the tab for 6 people? That was a $400 meal, Tyler. I checked their menu. Another silence. I can practically hear him calculating, trying to figure out how much I actually know. I had a good week betting on basketball. With what money? Your freelance graphic design job that doesn't exist? The job you made up when I asked about your new watch. Mark sinks into a kitchen chair, his head in his hands. Dad, Tyler's voice turns pleading. Dad, you have to stop her. She's ruining my life over money you guys don't even need. You make 6 figures. She just got a huge promotion. You can afford this. It's not about the money, I say before Mark can respond. It's about the fact that you looked me in the eye on Tuesday, congratulated me on my promotion, and had already spent my celebration money at a sports bar the night before. That's not, I didn't. You tweeted about it, Tyler. 2 weeks ago. About celebrating my success with money emojis and a winking face. You planned this. The line goes so quiet I think he might have hung up. Then I hear something that chills me, Tyler laughing. You want to play detective, Sandra? Fine. But you have no idea what you're starting. I know things about you too. About how you really treat me when Dad's not around. About how you've been trying to turn him against me for years. Mark's head snaps up, his eyes wide. What's that supposed to mean? I ask. Ask your husband. Ask him about the conversation we had last month. About how you told him he needed to choose between his son and his wife. I look at Mark, whose face has gone completely white. I never said that. But from Mark's expression, Tyler's been telling him I did. The web of lies suddenly feels much bigger than stolen money. The line goes dead, leaving Mark and me staring at each other across our kitchen island. The silence stretches until it becomes unbearable. What conversation? I ask quietly. Mark won't meet my eyes. He's picking at the edge of our placemat, the same nervous habit he's had since we got married. Sandra, it wasn't, he misunderstood what you meant. What conversation, Mark? He sighs heavily, like I'm forcing him to relive something painful. Last month, when Tyler asked for rent money again. You said you were tired of supporting him. You said I needed to decide what kind of family we were going to be. I remember that conversation. I'd been frustrated after Tyler had called asking for $800, claiming his freelance check was late. Again. But that's not what I said. I told you we needed boundaries. I said we couldn't keep enabling his financial irresponsibility forever. That's not the same as making you choose between us. I know that. But Tyler, he heard it differently. You talked to Tyler about our private conversation? Mark's face flushes. He asked why I seemed stressed. I mentioned we discussed his living situation. I didn't think. You didn't think he twisted into ammunition against me? My voice rises despite my efforts to stay calm. Mark, your son has been telling you I'm trying to break up your family, and you never thought to mention this to me? Because I knew you'd react exactly like this. Like what? Like someone who's been betrayed by both her stepson and her husband? Mark stands up abruptly, his chair scraping against our hardwood floor. I'm calling Tyler back. This has gone too far. Don't you dare. Sandra, he's going to be homeless. He's going to be homeless because he stole from me and lied about it. Because he's been running illegal sublets to fund his gambling. None of this is my fault. But Mark is already dialing. I watch him pace our kitchen, phone pressed to his ear, and something fundamental shifts inside me. For 4 years, I've tried to be the understanding stepmother. I'd bitten my tongue when Tyler was rude, opened my wallet when he was broke, and convinced myself that patience would eventually build a relationship. Instead, I've taught him that I'm a doormat. Tyler, it's Dad. We need to talk. No, just listen. Come home. We're going to figure this out like adults. I grab my purse and car keys from the counter. Mark sees me moving and covers his phone. Where are you going? Out. I'm not sitting here while you and your son figure out how to blame me for his choices. Sandra, please. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. Harder for who, Mark? For Tyler? For you? Because it's already pretty fucking hard for me. I'm at the door when he calls after me. If you leave now, while we're trying to work through this as a family. I turn back to face him. What? You'll what? He can't finish the threat, and we both know why. Because deep down, Mark knows I'm right. His son stole from me, lied about it, and has been poisoning our marriage with twisted versions of our private conversations. But Tyler is his blood, and I'm just the woman he married second. I drive aimlessly for 20 minutes before pulling into the parking lot of a coffee shop near my office. Inside, I order a latte I don't want and sit at a corner table, trying to process what just happened. My phone buzzes with a text from Mark. Tyler's coming over at 2. Please be here. We can solve this together. I stare at the message until the words blur. Solve this together. Like it's a mutual problem we all contributed to equally. Another text arrives, this one from a number I don't recognize. You cost me my apartment. Hope it was worth it. This isn't over. Tyler, texting from someone else's phone. I screenshot the message and add it to my growing file of evidence. Because if he thinks eviction was the end of my revenge, he's about to learn how wrong he is. Some people underestimate middle-aged women in corporate marketing. We don't just know how to sell products. We know how to destroy reputations. I drive home at exactly 1:45 p.m., timing my arrival for maximum impact. Mark's car is in the driveway alongside a beat-up Honda Civic I don't recognize, probably belongs to whoever Tyler's been staying with since his eviction notice. Inside, I can hear voices from the living room. Mark's measured tone, trying to play mediator, and Tyler's voice pitched higher than usual. They're sitting across from each other when I walk in, and the conversation stops abruptly. Tyler looks rough. His designer clothes from yesterday have been replaced with wrinkled jeans and a stained t-shirt. The expensive watch is gone. Most telling, though, is the way he won't look directly at me, just quick, darting glances before his eyes slide away. Sandra, Mark stands up, relief flooding his voice. I'm glad you're here. Tyler has something he wants to say. I remain standing, keeping my purse on my shoulder. I'm listening. Tyler clears his throat, staring at his hands. Look, maybe I borrowed some money from your account. But I was planning to pay it back before you noticed. I had a sure thing bet coming up, and I just needed. Stop. My voice cuts through his rehearsed explanation. Don't insult my intelligence with this victim narrative. Mark shoots me a warning look. Sandra, let him finish. No, Mark. I'm done listening to lies. I pull out my phone and open Tyler's Instagram. Tyler, explain this post from last Thursday. The one where you're buying rounds for everyone at that sports bar, captioned easy money tonight. Tyler's face flushes. That was from a different. Or this one from Tuesday, where you're at a casino in Alani. Posted at 2 a.m. with a stack of chips. I scroll to another screenshot. Or Wednesday's post about your lucky streak ending, but more where that came from. The room goes deadly quiet. Mark looks between Tyler and my phone screen like he's watching a tennis match. You weren't planning to pay anything back, I continue. You blew through my money in 4 days chasing losses. And when it was gone, you came up with that fumigation story to buy yourself time. Tyler finally looks up, and there's something ugly in his expression now. You know what your problem is, Sandra? You act like you're so perfect, but you're just a bitter woman who can't have kids of her own, so you try to control mine. Mark inhales sharply. Tyler, that's enough. But something ice-cold settles over me. Actually, let him keep talking. I want to hear what else he's been saying about me behind my back. I'm just saying what everyone thinks. You married Dad for his money, and now you're pissed that some of it went to his actual family instead of your little party. The accusation hangs in the air like smoke. Mark looks stricken, but he doesn't immediately defend me, and that hesitation tells me everything I need to know about the conversations they've been having. Tyler, I say quietly, you're absolutely right about one thing. I can't have children of my own. Mark winces, knowing where this is going. I had 3 miscarriages in my first marriage. It destroyed my relationship and left me thinking I'd never be a mother figure to anyone. I meet Tyler's eyes directly. So when your father and I got serious, and he told me about his son who might need some extra support, I thought maybe I was getting a second chance. Tyler shifts uncomfortably, clearly not expecting this response. I paid for your textbooks. Your car repairs. Your groceries when you were between jobs. I helped you write your resume and practiced interview questions with you. And you know what? I never once expected gratitude. I just wanted to be someone you could count on. My voice stays steady, but something lethal creeps into my tone. But you're right about me being bitter now. Because I finally understand that you never saw me as family. You saw me as a bank account with legs. Tyler's mouth opens, but I'm not finished. The difference is, Tyler, banks have security systems. And when someone steals from them, there are consequences. The silence that follows is deafening. Tyler's face has gone pale, and Mark looks like he's watching his family implode in real time. What's that supposed to mean? Tyler asks, but his voice has lost its earlier bravado. I pull out my phone and dial a number I memorized this morning. It rings twice before a crisp voice answers. Pacific Northwest Gambling Addiction Resources, this is Jennifer. Tyler's eyes widen. What are you doing? Hi Jennifer, this is Sandra Chin. I called earlier about your intervention services. I keep my voice conversational, like I'm ordering takeout. I'd like to schedule an assessment for a family member who's been stealing to fund their gambling addiction. Sandra, hang up the phone, Mark says sharply, but I ignore him. The individual has stolen approximately $8,000 that we know of, and we suspect the problem is much larger than what we discovered. Tyler jumps to his feet. You can't just, this is insane. Dad, stop her. But Mark seems frozen, watching this unfold with a mixture of horror and fascination. Yes, we can do an emergency intervention, Jennifer continues. Given the theft component, I'd also recommend involving a financial counselor and potentially legal counsel. Many families find that formal accountability measures are necessary for lasting recovery. Legal counsel? Tyler's voice cracks. Sandra, I'll pay you back. Every penny. I swear. I cover the phone's mouthpiece. With what money, Tyler? You just got evicted. You have no job. Your gambling problem has gotten so bad you're stealing from family members. Mark finally finds his voice. Sandra, this is going too far. He said he'll pay it back. When? I snap. How? And what happens the next time he has a sure thing bet? What happens when he steals from his next landlord, or his next girlfriend, or whoever else is unfortunate enough to trust him? I return to the phone call. Jennifer, I think we need the full intervention package. This person has been lying about their addiction for months, possibly years. Tyler's face contorts with panic. Dad, please. Make her stop. I'll go to meetings, I'll get help, but not like this. Not with strangers coming in and. Ms. Chen, Jennifer says, I should mention that our intervention process typically involves all immediate family members. Everyone needs to be on board for it to be effective. I look directly at Mark. That might be a problem. The father seems more concerned with protecting his son from consequences than actually helping him recover. Mark's face flushes angry red. That's not fair, Sandra. Of course I want him to get help, but ambushing him with interventionists isn't. Then what's your plan? I interrupt. Because Tyler promises to do better isn't working. We've been down that road before. Tyler backs toward the door like a cornered animal. I'm not doing this. I'm not sitting through some intervention bullshit because you're vindictive. Ms. Chen? Jennifer's voice brings me back to the phone. It sounds like you might need some family counseling sessions before we proceed with a formal intervention. When family members aren't united, the process becomes much more complicated. I understand. Let me call you back. I hang up, and Tyler immediately moves closer to his father. Dad, you can't let her do this to me. I'm your son. She's my wife, Mark says quietly, but there's uncertainty in his voice. Yeah? Well, your wife just threatened to have me committed. Your wife got me evicted. Your wife has been trying to destroy my relationship with you since the day you married her. Mark's eyes flick to me, and I can see Tyler's poison working. For years of subtle manipulation, and I'm the villain in this story. Tyler, I say calmly, I never tried to destroy anything. But I'm done trying to build something with someone who sees me as an enemy. Tyler's laugh is bitter. Finally, you admit what you really think of me. What I think, I say, walking toward the door, is that you're a 24-year-old man who steals from the people who love him and then plays victim when there are consequences. Mark calls after me as I reach the door. Sandra, where are you going? I turn back one last time. To make more phone calls, Mark. Because if you won't protect me from your son, I'll protect myself. The look of fear that crosses Tyler's face tells me he knows exactly what kind of phone calls I mean. And he should be afraid. I'm sitting in my car in the parking lot of a legal aid office, staring at my phone. The business card in my hand reads Patricia Morse, elder and financial abuse attorney. I found her through a Google search for theft by family members, and her website had a whole section about financial exploitation within households. The consultation was enlightening. $8,000 stolen by someone with access to your home constitutes felony theft in Oregon, Patricia had explained, her gray eyes sharp behind wire-rimmed glasses. The fact that he's family doesn't change the legal definition. If anything, it makes the betrayal of trust an aggravating factor. She'd asked detailed questions about Tyler's access to our house, his knowledge of my financial accounts, and the timeline of the theft. When I showed her the Instagram posts and his own admission during our phone call, she nodded grimly. You have enough evidence for criminal charges. The question is whether you want to pursue them. That was an hour ago. Now I'm second-guessing everything. My phone buzzes with a text from Mark, please come home. Tyler left. We need to talk about this rationally. Rationally. Like I'm the one who's been irrational in this situation. Another text follows immediately, he's scared, Sandra. He's just a kid who made a mistake. A kid. Tyler is 24 years old, older than I was when I got my first marketing job, older than Mark was when Tyler was born. But somehow, he's perpetually just a kid when consequences loom. I start the car and drive home, but not because Mark asked me to. I'm going back because I need to see his face when I tell him what I've decided. The house feels different when I walk in, quieter, like the air itself is holding its breath. Mark is in the kitchen, stress eating leftover Chinese food directly from the container. He looks up when I enter, hope flickering across his features. I'm glad you came back. Tyler was really shaken up by the intervention threat. I think it actually got through to him. I set my purse on the counter and pull out Patricia Morse's business card. I met with a lawyer today. The hope dies in Mark's eyes. Sandra, no. She says I have enough evidence for felony theft charges. Tyler's own social media posts, his admission on the phone, the pattern of spending immediately after the money was stolen. I place the card on the counter between us. She's willing to take the case. Mark sets down his chopsticks with trembling hands. You would actually send Tyler to prison? Over money? I would hold Tyler accountable for stealing from me. The prison part is up to the courts. This is insane. This is vindictive. This is what happens when someone commits felony theft. My voice stays level, but something cold settles in my chest. Patricia explained something interesting to me, Mark. In cases of financial abuse within families, there's usually a pattern of enabling behavior from other family members. The victim gets blamed for making waves while the perpetrator gets protected from consequences. Mark's face flushes. I'm not enabling anyone. I'm trying to keep this family together. What family? The question hangs between us. Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you have a son who steals from your wife, and a wife who's expected to just take it quietly. Tyler made a mistake. Tyler made a choice. Multiple choices. He chose to memorize my PIN when I wasn't looking. He chose to take my debit card. He chose to steal $8,000 over 3 days. He chose to lie about it repeatedly. I pick up the business card. And you chose to protect him instead of me. The kitchen falls silent except for the refrigerator's hum. Mark stares at the business card like it's a weapon pointed at his heart. What do you want from me? He asks finally. I want you to stop making excuses for him. I want you to acknowledge that what he did to me was wrong, not just a mistake. And I want him to face real consequences. And if I can't do that? The question hangs in the air, heavy with implications we're both afraid to voice. Then I guess we'll find out what's more important to you, I say quietly. Your son's comfort or your wife's dignity? Mark doesn't answer, but his silence tells me everything I need to know. I'm upstairs packing an overnight bag when I hear Tyler's car in the driveway. Through our bedroom window, I watch him get out of that same beat-up Honda, but this time he's not alone. A woman emerges from the passenger side, mid-30s, blonde, wearing scrubs. She looks tired, like she just got off a hospital shift. Mark must have called him back. I zip my bag and head downstairs, curiosity overriding my anger. In the living room, Tyler is introducing the woman to Mark. Dad, this is Jessica. We've been seeing each other for a few months. Jessica smiles nervously, clearly uncomfortable with whatever Tyler's told her about this situation. Mr. Morrison, Tyler's told me so much about you. I'm sorry we're meeting under these circumstances. I appear in the doorway, and Tyler's expression immediately hardens. And this is my stepmother, Sandra. The one I told you about. Jessica turns to me with genuine warmth. Oh. Tyler mentioned you're in marketing. That's so exciting about your promotion. Congratulations. The room goes dead silent. I can see Tyler's face cycling through panic as he realizes what Jessica just revealed. Promotion? I keep my voice carefully neutral. What did Tyler tell you about my promotion? Jessica glances between Tyler and me, clearly sensing she stepped into something. Just that you got this amazing new position, and he was so excited for you. He said you'd been working toward it for years. When did he tell you this? Mark asks quietly. Oh, weeks ago. He was talking about how he wanted to do something special to celebrate with family, since you've been so supportive of him. Jessica's smile falters as she reads the room. Is everything okay? Tyler's mouth opens and closes like a fish. Jessica, maybe we should. Wait, I interrupt. Jessica, did Tyler mention anything specific about celebrating my promotion? Any plans he had? She nods eagerly, apparently trying to lighten the mood. He said he was planning this surprise celebration thing. He was so sweet about it, talking about how he wanted to show his appreciation for everything you'd done for him. Mark's face has gone ashen. Tyler, is that true? Dad, she's misunderstanding. Actually, Jessica continues, oblivious to the tension, he borrowed money from me last week for it. Said he wanted to make it really special but was short on cash until his freelance payment came through. My blood turns to ice. He borrowed money from you? Jessica nods, finally picking up on the dangerous undercurrents. Just a few $100s. Tyler said it was for family stuff. She looks at Tyler with growing concern. Tyler, what's going on? How much money? I ask. Sandra, don't, Tyler starts. $600, Jessica says quietly, her voice getting smaller. He said he'd pay me back this week, but then he got that eviction notice and... She trails off, understanding dawning in her eyes. Oh God. Tyler, please tell me this isn't what I think it is. The room erupts into chaos. You borrowed money from your girlfriend to cover your gambling debts? Mark's voice rises to a shout. Jessica, you need to leave. Now. Tyler grabs her arm, but she pulls away. Did you steal from your family? Jessica's voice is barely a whisper. Tyler, did you steal from Sandra? It's complicated. It's not complicated. Jessica's voice cracks. Did you take money that wasn't yours? I watch this woman, this nurse who probably works double shifts to make ends meet, realize she's been dating someone who not only steals from his family but manipulates her into funding his lies. Jessica, I say gently, you should know that Tyler's been posting pictures all week of himself spending money at expensive restaurants and casinos. Money he stole from my bank account. She turns to Tyler with horror. The dinner at Lou Pigeon? When you paid for everything and said it was from your freelance work? Tyler's silence is answer enough. Jessica's face crumbles. I have to work 60-hour weeks to afford my student loans, and you've been stealing money to play big shot. She grabs her purse from the couch. We're done. And I want my $600 back by Friday, or I'm calling the police myself. She storms out, leaving Tyler staring after her with something like genuine devastation. Mark and I watch our stepson realize he's lost more than just money and housing. He's lost the one person who actually believed in him. The silence after Jessica's departure stretches until Tyler breaks it with a sound that's half laugh, half sob. Great. Thanks, Sandra. Really appreciate you destroying my relationship too. I didn't destroy anything, I say quietly. I told the truth. Something you might want to try. Mark steps between us like a referee. Everyone needs to calm down. Tyler, sit down. We're going to figure this out. But Tyler's already moving toward the door. No, we're not. I'm done with this family therapy bullshit. Jessica's gone, my apartment's gone, and now you want to send me to prison? Fine. I get it. You win. Tyler, wait, Mark starts. For what? So Sandra can make more phone calls? So she can ruin whatever else I have left? Tyler's voice breaks slightly. I said I'd pay her back. I meant it. With what? The question slips out before I can stop it. You just lost your girlfriend who you borrowed money from. You're about to be homeless. You have no job. Where exactly is this payback money coming from? Tyler whips around, and for a moment I see something dangerous flash in his eyes. Maybe I'll get creative. Maybe I'll figure out other ways to get what I need. Mark goes rigid. Tyler, that sounded like a threat. Did it? Tyler's smile is ugly now. Good. Because Sandra seems to think I'm some kind of criminal anyway. Maybe I should live up to her expectations. The words hit like physical blows, but what scares me more is the way Mark immediately moves to defuse the situation. Tyler, you don't mean that. You're upset, but you're not thinking clearly. Stop making excuses for him. I snap. He just threatened me, Mark. In our own house. He's scared and lashing out. He's a 24-year-old man making threats because he got caught stealing. My voice echoes off our vaulted ceiling. When are you going to stop treating him like a child? Tyler laughs bitterly. Never, apparently. Right, Dad? No matter what I do, you'll find a way to explain it away. Sandra could probably show you security footage of me robbing a bank, and you'd say I was just going through a rough patch. There's something almost relieved in his voice, like he's finally stopped pretending to be sorry. Mark's face cycles through confusion and hurt, clearly not understanding that his son is mocking him. Tyler, Mark's voice wavers. Of course I want to help you, but you have to meet me halfway. You have to want to change. What if I don't? Tyler steps closer to his father, and something predatory enters his expression. What if I like gambling? What if I don't see anything wrong with taking money from people who have more than they need? What then, Dad? I watch Mark's worldview crumble in real time. For years, he's convinced himself that Tyler's problems stem from addiction, impulse control, bad influences, anything except the possibility that his son might simply be selfish. You don't mean that, Mark whispers. Don't I? Sandra's got money. You've got money. I needed money. Where's the moral crisis? Tyler shrugs like he's discussing the weather. Rich people lose money to poor people every day. At least I kept it in the family. The casual cruelty of it takes my breath away. This isn't addiction talking anymore, this is entitlement, pure and simple. Mark sinks onto the couch like his strings have been cut. Tyler, please. You're scaring me. Tyler studies his father with something that might be contempt. You know what, Dad? Maybe Sandra's right. Maybe you should choose. Because I'm tired of pretending to be grateful for scraps from people who'll never see me as anything but a charity case. He heads for the door, then pauses. Oh, and Sandra? You might want to check your credit report. Just saying. The front door slams, leaving Mark and me staring at each other in horror. My credit report. Tyler's had access to our house for years. Our mail, our documents, our personal information. What else has he stolen that we don't know about yet? I'm in my home office at 11 p.m., 3 cups of coffee deep, staring at my laptop screen in disbelief. After Tyler's parting comment about my credit report, I'd immediately pulled reports from all 3 bureaus. What I found makes the stolen $8,000 look like pocket change. A credit card I never applied for, opened 6 months ago. Current balance, $4,300. A personal loan from an online lender, approved 3 weeks ago. Amount, $2,500. An account with a rent-to-own furniture company showing monthly payments on a gaming setup I've never seen. My hands shake as I scroll through the details. The applications were submitted online using my social security number, my employment information, even my mother's maiden name as a security question. Tyler would have access to all of this, years of living in our house, seeing mail, overhearing phone calls. The credit card bills have been going to a P.O. box I didn't know existed. Sandra? Mark appears in my doorway, looking haggard. It's late. Come to bed. I turn my laptop screen toward him. Look at this. His face goes white as he reads. This can't be right. This has to be some kind of mistake. It's not a mistake, Mark. Tyler's been using my identity to get credit for months. Maybe longer. I pull up another tab. The furniture rental? It's for that gaming computer setup he posted on Instagram last month. The one he said was a gift from a friend. Mark stumbles into the chair across from my desk. $6,000 more. Jesus Christ. That we know of. I need to call the fraud departments tomorrow, file reports with the FTC, probably freeze my credit entirely. My voice sounds surprisingly calm given that I want to scream. Your son hasn't just been stealing from me, Mark. He's been systematically committing identity theft. We don't know for sure it was Tyler. Really? You're still going to do this? I close the laptop harder than necessary. Who else has access to my personal information? Who else knew my work schedule well enough to know when packages wouldn't be intercepted? Who else would have memorized details about my life over 4 years of living here? Mark's silence stretches too long. When he finally speaks, his voice is barely audible. What do? We? There's no we anymore, Mark. There's you, choosing to protect your son from the consequences of federal crimes. And there's me, trying to rebuild my financial life after being systematically robbed by my own family. Sandra, please. No. I stand up, exhaustion hitting me like a physical weight. I'm done. Tomorrow I'm filing police reports for the theft and the identity fraud. I'm pursuing criminal charges. And I'm calling a divorce attorney. The words hang in the air between us. Mark's face crumples like I've slapped him. You don't mean that. I mean every word. Tyler just threatened me in our living room, and you made excuses for him. He's stolen over $14,000 from me, and you're still looking for ways to minimize it. I move toward the door, then pause. But you want to know what really breaks my heart? He told Jessica weeks ago that he was planning something special for my promotion. He was already planning this theft before I even got the official offer. Mark's shoulders shake. Sandra, he's sick. Gambling addiction makes people do terrible things. This isn't gambling addiction anymore. This is who Tyler is. And you choosing to protect him over me? That's who you are. I leave him sitting in my office, surrounded by evidence of his son's crimes, still trying to find ways to make it not Tyler's fault. Upstairs, I pack another bag. This time, it's not just for one night. I'm sitting in a hotel room at 6 a.m., staring at my phone and a stack of police reports I need to file today. The Hampton Inn isn't exactly luxurious, but it's clean and quiet, 2 things my house hasn't been for the past week. My phone has been buzzing all night. 17 missed calls from Mark, 12 from a number I don't recognize that's probably Tyler, and 1 from my mother asking if I'm feeling alright because I seemed off during our brief call yesterday. I haven't told my parents what happened yet. Haven't told anyone at work. The shame sits heavy in my chest. How do you explain that your stepson has been systematically stealing your identity while your husband watched it happen? The hotel room phone rings, making me jump. Who even calls hotel phones anymore? Mrs. Chen? This is Detective Rodriguez with Portland PD. You filed reports yesterday regarding theft and identity fraud? My stomach drops. It's too early for this call to be routine. Yes, that's correct. Ma'am, I need you to come to the station this morning. We've had some developments in your case that require immediate attention. What kind of developments? I'd rather discuss this in person. Are you available around 9 a.m.? After I hang up, I stare at my reflection in the bathroom mirror. Whatever Tyler has done now, it's bad enough that the police are calling at dawn. My phone buzzes with a text from Mark. Sandra, Tyler's missing. He never came home last night. I'm worried sick. Please call me. Missing. The word sends ice through my veins despite everything. Tyler might be a thief and a liar, but the thought of him hurt somewhere makes my chest tighten with unwanted concern. I'm about to call Mark back when another text arrives, this one from Jessica. Sandra, I'm sorry to bother you, but Tyler showed up at my apartment at 3 a.m. demanding money. When I said no, he broke my kitchen window trying to get in. I had to call the police. I thought you should know. The pieces clicked together. Tyler's escalating, getting desperate, and now he's committing crimes against other people. The detective's call suddenly makes perfect sense. I dial Mark's number. Sandra, thank God. Tyler's been gone all night. His friend hasn't seen him, he's not answering his phone. Mark, he was at Jessica's apartment at 3 a.m. trying to break in. She called the police. The line goes quiet except for Mark's ragged breathing. That can't be right. Tyler wouldn't. He would. And he did. I'm going to the police station in an hour to find out what else he's done. I'll meet you there. No, you won't. My voice comes out sharper than intended. Mark, I can't have you there making excuses for him when the detectives are trying to build their case. I can't watch you minimize attempted breaking and entering the same way you minimized everything else. Sandra, please. He's my son. I need to know what's happening. Then call your own lawyer and deal with it separately. But I'm done being part of your family crisis management team. I hang up and immediately call Patricia Morse, my attorney. She answers on the second ring, sounding wide awake despite the early hour. Sandra? What's happened? Tyler's been arrested. Breaking and entering, I think. The police want to see me this morning. Don't say anything beyond confirming the facts of your original complaints. Don't speculate about Tyler's mental state or motivations. And absolutely don't let them pressure you into dropping charges because he's getting help now. Her warning turns out to be prophetic. Because when I arrive at the police station 2 hours later, Tyler's already there with a public defender, and Mark is in the parking lot waiting for me with an expression that says he's about to ask me to do exactly what Patricia warned me not to do. This is about to get much worse before it gets better. Detective Rodriguez leads me into a small conference room where Tyler sits next to a tired-looking public defender. He's wearing an orange jumpsuit now, his hands cuffed to the table. When he sees me, something like relief flickers across his face before hardening into resentment. Mrs. Chen, the detective begins, your stepson was arrested early this morning for attempted burglary at Jessica Walsh's residence. During booking, we found several items in his possession that connect to your identity theft complaint. She slides evidence bags across the table. My debit card. A notebook with what looks like my personal information written in Tyler's handwriting. And a key I recognize, the spare to our house that went missing months ago. Tyler's admitted to the identity theft charges, his lawyer says quietly. He's prepared to make a plea agreement that includes full restitution. I look at Tyler directly for the first time. Full restitution for how much? His lawyer consults her notes. $14,300. Plus interest and fees. That's just what I found yesterday. How do I know there isn't more? Tyler finally speaks, his voice hoarse. There isn't more. That's everything. Like there wasn't more when you said you only borrowed my money and were planning to pay it back? The detective clears her throat. Mrs. Chen, the district attorney is willing to recommend a suspended sentence if Tyler completes an 18-month rehabilitation program and pays full restitution within 2 years. What does that mean exactly? It means if he stays out of trouble and follows the payment plan, he won't serve jail time. I study Tyler's face, looking for any sign of genuine remorse. Instead, I see calculation, he's already planning how to work this deal to his advantage. No, I say quietly. Everyone in the room turns to stare at me. Tyler's lawyer looks confused. Mrs. Chen, this is a very generous offer. No. I want him to serve actual time. I want this on his permanent record. And I want him to understand that stealing from family isn't a mistake you get to walk away from. Tyler's face twists with anger. You vindictive bitch. I told you I'd pay it back. When? How? With what money? I lean forward slightly. Tyler, in the past week you've stolen $14,000 from me, gotten yourself evicted, lost your girlfriend, and tried to break into her apartment. When exactly in that spiral were you planning to make things right? The detective intervenes before Tyler can respond. Mrs. Chen, you don't have to decide today. Take some time to consider. I don't need time. I stand up, feeling lighter than I have in years. I've spent 4 years watching this pattern play out. Tyler hurts people, faces no real consequences, and promises to do better next time. Well, this is next time. And I'm done enabling it. Tyler's voice cracks as I reach the door. Sandra, please. I can't go to prison. I'll get help, I swear. Real help this time. I pause, looking back at him one last time. Tyler, I genuinely hope you do get help. But you're going to get it in jail, where you can't hurt anyone else while you figure your life out. Outside the station, Mark is waiting by his car, his face streaked with tears. Sandra, please tell me you didn't jest. I did exactly what I should have done years ago. I held him accountable. Mark's shoulders shake. He's going to prison because of you. No, Mark. He's going to prison because of him. There's a difference. I walked to my car without looking back, finally free from a family that never saw me as anything more than an ATM with feelings. Some lessons cost more than others. Tyler's about to learn that the hard way. And honestly, it's about time.